All right, go. Oh, hello. Boy, you missed so much between what happened yesterday and the microphone and all that business. But I think we've recovered. Am I coming in clear? I think so. So yesterday I cut that roll bar off of the car, which nobody either saw or heard, and I'm working on replacing it with these two hoops. So I got this awesome hydraulic bender, and it's helped a lot. That other thing, they work great. I think if you're gonna try to get into the game, a manual tube bender is a great way to start. But if you start aging and feeling less athletic, you might want one of these models. It's hydraulic. It's real cool. You turn it on. It's got a little toggle. So if you're familiar with a tube bender, this is the same action as all the other ones, except it has this ram that pushes the tube around. So yeah, I bent two of these prior to this camera being here, and we'll discuss. You can see the difference. I mean, again, not to take anything away from this masterful creation. You got Exhibit A, Exhibit B. I mean, they're both rusty. Fits the look. I did clean up a few things here and there because I have a plan. I have the other tube over here. And not to let the cat out of the bag too soon. I mean, we do like some suspense, but building a roll bar. But instead of a single hoop, I want a double hoop. I saw this on a dune buggy at the Pismo Beach old school buggy reunion, and I was like, man, I gotta have me one of them. They took two bars and they divided them like the 70s show bars that you'd see on the back of like I don't know, whose pickup truck? That stuntman on the TV shows. Maybe you might have seen something like that on Smokey and the Bear or Smokey and the Bandit, you know? So I've been making these. I'm either gonna have 4 or 6 spreaders. So firstly, I'll show you this tube notcher and what I'm up to. It's called a fish mouth. Not because it has anything to do with fish, but it might look like a fish mouth. What it does, you can see when you're gonna weld that baby together, makes a perfect thing for you to weld. How I get that is with this tube notcher. There's a whole bunch of different manufacturers of these. It's a real simple unit. I've used expensive ones, I use cheap ones. They all work. Some better than others, but you get the same result. You just take your regular drill you would use on anything, and it hooks up to this dealie here, and there's a hole saw. Check this out. Hole saw threads right onto the end of that shaft, and it saws right through. This may be redundant for a lot of folks, but if you're 14 years old and wondering how the heck a roll cage is made, this is the equipment. So I already set these up. I made all my measurements. It could be any variation of things, but I want about 1 3/4 inch spread between those bars. So I just unclamp this, pull that so that it matches the other ones I've made, like so. A little more. Yeah, just like that. I'll tighten it back up. Process will begin. One thing about these, ask me how I know, If this thing hooks up in this material, which it could tend to do, this drill is going to hit you right in the jaw. Seriously, this is going to go whack. So stand back. You need a good grip on this thing. Probably not going to stick today because I'm experienced, but if it does, it's going to be a show. And you'll see what this does. It cuts right through. This isn't deep enough to penetrate all the way through the 1.5-inch tube, so I'll have to stop halfway and do a little relief cut. That's what these little pieces are here. I'll have to cut off the top of that so it can pass all the way through, but that's minor stuff. The magic is in the hole saw. Put on some spectacles. This isn't a very loud operation, but you don't want any of that metal shavings coming. So I just hold it, right, and get ready. Because if it bites, especially with a new one, it'll bite pretty hard. This one's dull and they tend to work a little bit better. So I kind of rev on it like that, just to get it started. That way if it does hook up, just give it a little juice, start working. See, now it starts to cut, right? That's when it can hook up. Right about there, I'm going to stop, take it out, and do a quick little cut with the grinding disc. That way this piece will pop out and the bit can go all the way through. Help if I plug my tools in. Yep. You're gonna love the part when I take the air hose and try to plug the grinder into it. It happens all the time. Now that little piece is removed, we'll plug it back in. Right, get it set, get it clamped, and go for the finish. You'll see at the very end, it always gets a little sloppy. This isn't a very high-tech tube bender, so you'll see this thing's gonna kind of wind off a little bit. Aha! And that's it. I'll just take the other little tidbit off. We're ready to go. Sound still on? Hope so. All right, so we got 4 of these little standoffs to start with. We got 2 roll cage hoops. We are ready to try it out. I made these bends a little bit shy of how many degrees they should be bent because I like to have a little stress in the roll bar when I put it in there. Is there any sound theory to that? Not that I know of, but it feels like it's stronger. When I say that, I mean our spread on the plates on the dune buggy are X amount, and then this roll bar is a little wider, so I'm just going to draw it in with this ratchet strap to get it very tense and the exact measurement we need. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to get a little stress on it. compare it to the car. Before we do that, I'm going to take some of the rust off of this for welding. You could weld right through this minor surface rust, but you see I just kind of prepped everything. I set up my little locations where I want those spreaders. Just give it a quick frisk with the wire brush. To the car. While Jamie goes to the car, I'm going to have a tasty adult beverage. So you can see how the thing is cut apart. Delicious. So got quite a tail hanging off on this thing. Check out these perches here. That's where the other roll bar was plugged in. It's super strong. I didn't get into any of that weld business because I have an aesthetic plan on that later, but this thing is going to land right where the old one used to. You can see it's a little bit wide. So that's where the ratchet strap comes in. Look at that. In the words of a great man, that's amazing. One of my favorite guys, one of my favorite television documentary hosts ever is Mr. Huell Hauser, and I like to emulate his passion. You should check out California's Gold. It's on YouTube. It's an awesomely quirky view. All the best things. But I'm going to let this out because I'm a little bit too close to where I need to weld. I'll bring it up a spell. And I want this on that side. There we are. Reasonably close. Let's get that out of the way of welding. How long does it take to upload a 40-minute program, Jamie?
I have no idea.
We're going to find out.
We are.
I'm going to try for 40 minutes, maybe? I don't know.
We're at 13.
Oh. So the old roll bar, it had these two kickers. They're still in place. They're super strong. It's a great location to land on the VW pan, right where the old body mounts were. So all I'm going to do is take that and cut right there. Let that land right where it needs to be, both sides. All right. Grab the grinder disc. Start cutting. Hope there's enough wire in the welding machine. I've been spooling out quite a bit of material on that other project, which will be revealed on another broadcast, not related to this. But that's why the shop's so messy. I've been hustling. 2 projects right now, and then the third is coming in a few days from, my friend Victor, the enhancer. Yeah, he's got some ideas. So that should be interesting. All right, let's give that a trim and see how it looks. I was getting into this a little bit yesterday when the sound was off. about this grinder and how I use it. It's super dangerous. Like, if you're new at this, do not use the grinder like this. I like it because I can reach really far across into tubes, etc. I've been doing this since I'm 14. I've been hurt, but I got a system. It's working. Use the guard if you're trying this for the first time. Disastrous results could occur. All right, let's see how that lines up. Bada bing, bada boom. I like that. Heck yeah. Let me just check that they're the same height because it looks a little bit crooked to me. Oh yeah, look at that. If you look at the torsion tube, I always try to reference like, flat lines. So if you look at this torsion tube and you look at this, you want them parallel. Right now, it's getting wonky. Let's bring out tape measure. I know that roll bar is even on the table, but it just goes to show you, whoever put the other one on the car, it's not even. So from our points that I measured on the table, roughly 37 5/8, 37 1/2. And over here we got, it's 3/8. Well, I'd even say it's a 1/2 inch taller. Let's cut a 1/2 inch off this leg. I'll be right back.